Hey there, Saints fans. Welcome to Talking Saints. I'm Trip.
I'm Alex.
And welcome back to another episode. Sorry about the delay. I had lost my voice for a couple days there, so we ended up just taking a break for a week. But we're back, and we're going to go over some training camp news.
A lot of interesting things going on lately.
Yeah, I agree. This isn't going to be too long of an episode. It's the off season. Not much is going on.
It's kind of a slow off season. Nothing big, nothing splashy, but
that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, no.
I mean, the Chiefs have had some big news this offseason.
Yeah, we don't have anyone.
But big news isn't.
Knock on some wood or something.
Big news isn't always good news.
Yeah.
Just to kind of run over some of our stuff, there's a backup quarterback battle in the off season for us.
We've been monitoring that pretty closely, but there's one that stood out way more than the other.
You talking about?
And that is Jake Haener.
Not the rookie?
Yeah.
The one that everybody was hyped about? I can't believe it.
I haven't heard the greatest things about Spencer Rattler. He's still getting his feet underneath him.
Yeah.
But hey, it's a good defense to go up against.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I was mostly Joe. I mean, you can't expect a rookie to just come in and be,
especially with that offense. Apparently, Clint Kubiak's got a lot of moving pieces. So.
Yeah, I'll say this. So, Jake Haener went and trained with Gruden over the offseason, or just recently. Mm-hmm. And when he came back, he was, he said, if someone's going to get drafted, that's fine, but they better be ready to compete. And Jake has been. And Jake, right now, if the season started, he'd be QB2.
And John Gruden definitely helps out, man. He's kind of been the quarterback guru.
Look, so, other than that, speaking of quarterbacks, we'll talk about our starting quarterback, Derek Carr. Derek Carr's looked sharp so far.
He's looked really well.
What are these called? Mini camps? These are called mini camps, right?
Yeah, it's the mini camp.
So yeah, Derek Carr's looked really good in the mini camps. I mean, I think if it was like 37 for 43 kind of thing.
He's been real accurate. Real
I couldn't
sharp.
tell you for sure. I think he's been real good throwing in touchdowns and really leading the offense. And I think that's obviously we've talked about it. Clint Kubiak's. We've heard,
it's not stale. It's something new.
Yeah.
It's something exciting, refreshing, invigorating. You could possibly get a lot more out of Derek Carr than what we saw last year.
Yeah, and Alvin Kamara, I think, was the one that said it. In Kubiak's offense, everything is intentional.
Everything seems intentional.
If Derek Carr takes a step to the right, it's because it was designed that way. And it's not just.
I'm hoping that this will help shore up the inadequacies on our offensive line.
Yeah, I'll say this. I was looking at a stat of Derek Carr when we were running play action last season. Yeah. Derek Carr was like a 123 quarterback rating, super high completion, touchdowns, all that stuff. And we only ran like 80 snaps in
I don't know
that formation.
Part of that was not being able to get the run game going because you got to establish the run game as well.
And I've heard the run game's looking really good this year.
You're here, and
it's always here.
You don't know until you see it week one. Even in the preseason, you may get super excited seeing something like last year. I believe it was against the Chiefs. I mean, Derek Carr and the Saints offense looked absolutely unstoppable.
Yeah, but you kind of heard some some concerns during the but I haven't heard. I mean, everybody's looked sharp. Everybody's looked sharp. Obviously the O-line's still a question mark, and we'll get to that point. When we get closer into the season, we'll figure it out.
I think Savadari might be dealing with a little injury too.
I heard it's nothing serious.
Probably be ready by training camp.
He'll be ready which is in July, late July, 23rd, something like that.
It's rookies report a few days earlier, and then the veterans show up late July.
But another, I didn't write this down, but I just thinking about it off the top of my head, another battle going on in terms of, but is Blake Grupe and
Charlie Smythe.
Smythe. You said it was Mr. Smythe.
Yeah.
I'll say I've heard Smythe's been not necessarily.
He hasn't been as accurate.
Yeah.
But his power. So apparently he ended practice the other day hitting from both 66 and 68 yards.
Knocking them through.
Is absolutely absurd. I understand it's not, in-game conditions, you have to kick over 20 people in the game. It's a little bit different, but
and
it could have been like a line drive, like almost like a kickoff.
But here's the deal. I think it was a field goal. It was they were testing it. He was trying to field goal. It wasn't just him kicking off.
A lot of power.
So you think about it. Oh, we're not going to carry two kickers on the team.
We could definitely, I could see it. That's how Blake Grupe became on the team in the first place. No, sorry, Blake Gillikin. Blake Gillikin
He's just a stash.
A stash.
The injured.
Injury stash. So I could see Charlie Smythe ending up on the IR or something like that.
I was saying that as like, oh, I couldn't, but with this new kickoff rules.
Like the Chiefs, for example, they're talking about letting their starting safety, Justin Reed, kick. And the reason for that is every ball is going to have to be returned.
It's going to be very physical. There's a chance your kicker could get injured. So you could bring on
You're going to need you may need an extra person who
I really don't want Blake Groupe.
5'6", he ain't going to last the whole season.
I don't want him tackling. I mean, I'd like to see him lay somebody out at least once.
I mean, that'd be cool.
It'd be cool. But I don't want him to get injured because he's
accurate.
As much as the fans were for a rookie kicker,
we saw it was not a bad season. Kick through injuries, and he didn't look like himself. So I think that's a good point.
So
I'd like to see Lou Headley tackle somebody. Now that I think about it, if he
big old Aussie,
yeah.
I'd like to see it. Another area of concern for me, other than we kind of talked about our O-line earlier, is our tight end room. Juwan Johnson,
totally up in the air.
Yeah, Juwan Johnson was confirmed to have an injury that he had surgery on. Nick Underhill had said that he's going to be out for some time, but that's
didn't have
training time, not necessarily play time.
Yeah,
but that's important.
Possible it could linger over a week or two.
You never know. I mean, we know Michael Thomas was only supposed to be.
Our Saints, staff, medical staff is just who knows.
We'll see.
Who knows what's going on.
So
they're very coy about those injuries, but honestly, it'll shake up. It'll probably end up shaking up our entire.
And then you look at our
tight end roster.
Look at our tight end room right now. You got Foster Moreau. You got Michael Jacobson, and then Dallin Holker. But
and kind of Taysom Hill.
Yeah,
he's a lock, but he'll be somewhere. Running back, quarterback, tight end. He's on the team, but.
Not to mention, Jimmy Graham has hinted he wants back. I would take him.
I'd like to see it. If he comes back though, I want him to have a bigger role. Like I want him to be like a true tight end.
Yeah, I mean, if you took
because last year
Pete Carmichael got him 4 touchdowns on 6 catches. Could you imagine what Kubiak could do with him?
He spent half of the year on the practice squad last year, and that's unacceptable.
No, 100%. 100%.
The dude just came in and caught everything thrown his way, and you could say it's old that he doesn't have the conditioning. The dude is selling across the ocean right now.
The dude keeps up with his body.
He talked to Rich. I think it was Rich. Was it Rich Eisen? No, it was Pat McAfee. He was telling them that hasn't been in this kind of shape in like 10 years.
Honestly, dude, Jimmy Graham's going to be the guy who's like 80 years old doing like pull-ups, climbing up mountains and stuff.
He's huge. And
he takes care of his body,
Also, the NFL has changed. From what it was 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah, everybody's smaller.
The safeties and the linebackers were massive, and they just run you over.
This is a speed-first NFL.
It's to the point where Jimmy Graham will just straight up turn around and punish these little slot corners, little safeties, man. They're just...
We'll see, man. I hope he comes back, but if we don't, there's 2 rookie tight ends that... we've heard some stuff from Michael Jacobson saying he's not too bad.
Yeah. But and I think part of it is with Clint is... with all that play action and all the blocking, I think a blocking tight end.
Yeah, we need Foster's going to need to make sure his blocking is
Foster Moreau is like the Josh Hill prototype.
Yeah.
And he'll probably make he's making the team.
Oh yeah, he's making the team.
But he'll probably see
maybe a surprise.
A lot of snaps, mainly just because how good he can block.
My guy Holker has apparently been cooking all offseason.
He has.
And like we said, this is just mini camp.
Even a few snaps with the ones, from what I've heard.
Well, I mean, it's not like, the
ones.
He is the one right now, you know what I mean? Unfortunately. Or you never know. He could be a good tight end. Tight end is a position where you can kind of pop off.
Maybe just a camp body, maybe a practice squad stash, but Sal Cannella?
Yeah, I'm sure he's probably...
New Orleans Breaker, right?
Yeah, former New Orleans Breaker from the UFL or USFL.
I don't know if he's officially on the team, but he was practicing.
He's played in the USFL for 2 years. Then he played in the UFL last season, or this season that literally just ended. But I'll say this: he's been good every single year. We have 2 rookie tight ends that are kind of doing good. They're not doing. They're doing everything they can to try to make the team, and so far all we've heard is good things from them.
Yeah.
But another rookie that's under the radar, undrafted free agent, is your guy.
My TCU boy.
Yes, sir.
Millard Bradford.
3 interceptions?
Yeah. He was kind of on my watch list coming in as an undrafted free agent. And the reason why is his versatility. He can play, slot safety, free safety, slot corner.
Yeah, and if
he
can
play every position, dude. He had a lot of special team snaps, and there's just so many roster roles that he can fill. I don't know if he has the NFL talent, but he has the versatility to make the team just from how important he can be.
Yeah. And you look at our safety room, it's not like there's a couple guys who are like quote unquote locks, but
yeah, like
he could totally make the roster as a kind of like an Ugo Amadi, because Ugo can kind of fit in that slot outside. He could kind of move everywhere, and that's where his versatility is going to earn him a roster spot. Millard Bradford could do the same thing.
And there's veteran guys that aren't super impressive, like Jonathan Abram, Will Harris.
I heard Abram's not been too bad, but
Abram's he was decent in that Bucks game.
I remember you've been calling him J.J. Abrams.
I was calling him J.J. Abrams,
and we kind of locked in. We were having a good time at that game. We got some clarity on some of our veterans, or at least our main one, and that's Marshawn Lattimore. I mean, Marshawn Lattimore.
I'm glad he's back.
We thought he was going to be back.
Yeah, I never had any doubt. Never. I couldn't see him in another uniform.
Even he was like, yeah, it's all good. Like we were literally like we talked.
I had a problem with Dennis,
but we talked
it out. I was never going to.
That's that culture, man. That's that culture that's kind of been a part of New Orleans, for the past couple years.
Yeah, dude. And think about it. He's here. Our secondary is absurd. Dude.
We were talking about this yesterday.
Like
Marshawn, Paulson Adebo, Alante could all be wide receiver ones on some other team.
Yeah, cornerback ones. Yeah.
I say wide receiver ones.
I think he did.
I did. Alante, he locked down DeAndre Hopkins in that Cardinals game that one time playing on the outside.
Way back in the day.
That was like 2 years ago. That was That was the game where Andy Dalton threw 2 pick sixes back to back.
That was gut wrenching.
Oh man,
I was screaming. Put Jameson, please.
That was the birth of Rashid Shaheed that game.
That was.
Remember he
started. I was like, who is this guy?
Who is this random dude? And then you got Paulson Adebo, who's just he was awesome last year. He locked down that wide receiver. I just want to say wide receiver. Mm-hmm. He locked down that cornerback one position while Lattimore was out.
His rookie year and his third year, just absolutely phenomenal. I remember his second year, he received some hate from the fan base, but it was because we rushed him onto the field. He either was struggling with a hamstring or a groin injury, but anytime Paulson Adebo has been healthy, he's been pretty solid.
Yeah, no, I really do. Paulson is, like I said, he's underrated, and I think he's going to be a great corner. Why do I keep wanting to say wide receiver? Cornerback in this NFL. What's wrong with you, man? But doesn't matter because he's a cornerback 2 on the team, and he's like probably one of the best cornerback 2s in the league because Marshawn Lattimore's back. Huge.
He should have got some Pro Bowl votes or something last year.
I think so. I mean, he was awesome. Then you also got Kool-Aid McKinstry in the, what is it, on the bench waiting to come back and back up in these guys. He'll have some playtime somewhere. But, man, Lattimore, Adebo, Alante, and Kool-Aid.
It's crazy to think that Kool-Aid's
like a fourth string.
Yeah. It hurts.
Gosh.
It hurts.
But other than that veteran, and like I said, Lattimore coming back, other veteran news, Alvin Kamara's looking for a new contract.
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about it, though.
I'm not either. I think it's going to be something kind of like Tyrann and DeMario and Cam have been getting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's
that option for another year.
Well, it sounds like, because look, when Cam signed his deal, because, Kamara is kind of quiet.
Yeah,
in terms of he'll post something on Instagram and everyone's like, oh, what is it? He's like, guys, he's like, this has nothing to do with football. He's like, this literally anything I post on Instagram has nothing to do with football. But in this case, AK, it seems like even though we've had 4 or 3 back-to-back not great seasons, he's talking because Cam got a lifetime contract, to finish off.
Yeah,
that was this year?
That was this year.
And
Tyrann got something similar. He got an extension.
Yeah, and then Alvin's like, man, I want one of those. I want a lifetime contract with the Saints.
And people, the media went crazy with it. They're saying, oh, Alvin Kamara walked out of practice.
Yeah.
It was the last day of minicamp, and it was after their team meetings, he left.
Yeah,
Like,
it has. I'm telling you.
So he missed one practice.
There's
and he's a veteran.
The way his
It's not a
contract
big
works,
deal.
we're not trading him.
Yeah.
We're not cutting him. He's a great running back still. He's going to be
yeah.
awesome in
In this
Kubiak's
new
system.
Also, anyone with a brain knows that Alvin Kamara needs to be running the ball outside of the tackles.
Yeah, there's.
It's just dumb.
Take
They
Kendrick.
have him run up the middle every single time.
I mean, I know he didn't have a great season last year,
Yeah.
but none of our like O linemen were blocking that well up the middle. But even then, you take Jamal's our up the middle guy. You know,
Or Taysom even.
I mean that's what I'm saying.
Kendrick, maybe, I don't
Alvin
know.
should be your wide receiver. You know,
Yeah.
he should be your wide receiver
receivers,
3 / screen. I mean,
Get the ball in motion. Do you remember the 2-point play that he used to do that was just
Unstoppable.
absolutely goated? You just take the ball, snap it, and pitch it to him out wide.
yeah.
That's what Alvin Kamara
That's
needs.
his-
He needs to be doing stuff like that.
He's not the power back. He's your
No.
elusive.
No.
And when he gets on the outside, he doesn't
And
even have to
you
try.
need to find a way to get Eric McCoy in front of him.
I remember I watched that play yesterday
He's
too.
a fast dude.
The play against the Packers. When,
I've seen him get up the field to block people several times.
Look, I'll say this. I think AK will be back. I don't think there's going to be any problem with it. I think he's going to get a
either.
contract he wants.
Yeah.
I mean, we were freeing up some money. Either we're looking to sign somebody because we restructured Taysom's contract, right?
I think so.
But we're either going to sign somebody, we're going to extend somebody.
Well, yeah, we need to
One of those two things. But something's coming up soon. So
extend Paulson, Adebo, and
Yeah, we
Pete
signed-
Werner.
we signed two secondary members to the team today. One of them's a safety from the Raiders.
Yeah.
Can't think of his name off the top of my head. I think his name is,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Beats me.
but he is from New Orleans, and
Oh,
you know,
that's
so
cool.
that's you can get another homebody guy on the team.
And
So
Will
yeah.
Harris, he has family in Biloxi. That's where we're from. So all
we'll
these
see,
local
guys.
Coast
We'll
guys.
see. But that's about all that we've heard for training camp. Or the mini camp at least.
Yeah.
We should get some more updates in about a month from whenever this episode is posted.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. Other than that, we'll have some stuff for you to chew on while we wait. A couple more entertainment type videos, and if any news pops up, we'll kind of talk about it. Other than that, guys, we appreciate y'all watching. Mr. Alex, you got anything else?
Oh no, man! Just remember to like and share the video.
Of
so we can
course.
grow the channel.
Of course. Other than that, guys, this has been Talking Saints. We'll see you next week.
All right, thank you.